guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video we're reviewing to the Blacklist Season 1, Episode 7, Fredrick Barnes. Oh my gosh, this was a very intense episode, guys. I thought there were some really intense scenes tonight, and that ending really is pretty big. I don't really know where that ending's gonna go, but there were some pretty big things. One of the things I like is that this episode really, after last week's, one of the things I didn't like, I should say, because I didn't like this, I did not like that they didn't show a lot of Tom's story and, you know, more about this. I didn't like that they didn't go deeper into this case, but they didn't really go deeper into it. It really just, they showed a little bit of it, but not a lot. I would have wanted to see more of Liz trying to avoid Red at all costs, and we did see some of that, but not a lot of it. But let's just get to the episode. The big storyline this week is that, pretty much we see that we begin this subway car, and we see this guy's on the train. He's talking to this nice redhead who tells a sweet story about her father, and this guy gets off, but he has left his briefcase on the train, and the redhead tries to get it from him, but the door's shut. Robert presses a button, and they just call him Robert at this point because it's played by Robert Sean Leonard, famous for the characters he played in Dead Poets Society and the TV show House. He presses a button and the briefcase begins leaking a gas, so everyone in that subway car is dead. And that's just how the episode began. I mean, it was a pretty big scene. I thought the whole thing with what he could do this episode was pretty big. Like, the way he could just kill everyone with gas. It was pretty big, the way that all worked. That I thought was pretty cool. Definitely. So then we see Liz and Tom, and they're a lot better now. You can see that they're completely better. They're trying it on with everything, and they're trying to decide what color to paint one of the rooms in the house. And they seem cute and everything. They're cuddling. Liz admits to feeling terrible for doubting Tom's love. Her phone rings, and she's called to the site of the DC subway attack. You can see clearly that she's trying to avoid Red at all costs. You can definitely see that. And at this scene, videotape evidence shows the killer. Red calls FBI headquarters and tells them that he knows who was behind the attack, a scientist named Fredrick Barnes. And Red tells them that Barnes is brilliant and has tools, and knows how to kill thousands. Red says that Barnes has never executed an attack himself in the past, and that worries Red. Motivated, Barnes is the most dangerous man in the world, according to Red. This was definitely a November Sweeps episode. I mean, definitely, like, what he could do was pretty big. As I said, what he could do was very big, and that's one of the things I really enjoyed. So after this, they go to the hospital. The doctor there describes how the chemical attack worked. It involves a very rare disease that comes from nuclear materials. It's hard to obtain, and Red tells the FBI that there was only one man who could have gotten it to Barnes. Red is going to meet the supplier, but it is out of the country. He invites Liz to come with him, but she refuses. She is angry at Red for framing Tom, and Red insists that she will someday find out the truth about Tom. Liz walks away, and Red heads to a van to meet the nuclear supplier. This scene I really liked. I like that we're starting to see that Liz does not trust Red. She thinks everything he's saying to her is just complete bullshit. She doesn't want to do anything around him. Because, I mean, when he's around, things do get pretty crazy whenever she's around him, so I can see why she's trying to avoid him. Some people are saying she's stupid and everything, but I really enjoyed this scene because, I mean, you really don't know if he's lying through his teeth or if he is telling the honest truth, and I like that they do that. But the FBI goes to meet with a woman who used to work with Barnes. Liz notices that the woman's son has the same rare disease that Barnes gave to all the people on the subway. And it turns out the boy is actually Fredrick Barnes' son, and Barnes is killing people with the disease to raise awareness of it and force doctors to work to find a cure, because they're not giving a cure to his son. And it's a very, very deep meaning, very powerful, and I thought it was a very powerful when we found out why he's doing this, just so basically people can give a cure to his son. It's kind of selfish, but it's also really sad that they're not giving a cure to his son. And, you know, he does have to accept that they might not ever find a cure. I mean, there's nothing that says you must find a cure. There's nothing that says that. They're not always going to find a cure. So, I mean, that was a pretty big scene, though. Red is in Havana, Cuba. He goes to meet with a nuclear supplier, a guy named Manny, and Red tells the man he wants to buy the nuclear material that was sold to Barnes. Red plants a bug so he can listen to it. When Manny calls Barnes to get some of the material back, Red is able to figure out Barnes' location, and he calls Liz to tip her off. We see Barney enter a courtroom in Arlington, Virginia. He leaves a briefcase in the courtroom and blocks the doorway. Liz and Ressler arrive at the court, but it is too late. Barnes pushes the button and the briefcase begins to leak the deadly gas. This is the biggest scene in the episode. Ressler tries to save people in the court. Liz spies Barnes and begins chasing him. Barnes gets away by grabbing a security guard's gun and taking the man hostage. Meanwhile, Ressler finds a woman in the sealed courtroom who seems to have escaped the deadly gas, and one of Red's people pays double the asking price to buy a house from Maryland. And this is pretty big. We see that they want to buy this house from Maryland. We don't really know where this is going, but we'll talk about more of that later because there's a very big scene there. And back at the FBI, Liz gets in trouble for the way she handled the hostage situation. She is in trouble for surrendering her weapon and lets Barnes go. So basically right now they have to all evacuate the building because there's this gas and everything. And the woman who survived the attack, the courthouse, is in the hospital. Barnes sneaks into her room, pretending to be an orderly. He gives her a sedative that knocks her out and pulls out some medical equipment. If you had to guess, I would suspect his attacks were armed to find someone who was immune to the disease so he could find a cure for his son. So he basically just gives him a disease so he can find a cure. And it's just, as I said, it's sick, but it's really deep, too, because they're not giving a cure to his son. But eventually, Liz calls her out asking for help locating Barnes. Red says that Barnes will probably want to finish the job of killing the survivor. At the hospital, they figure out that Barnes is really trying to find a cure to save his son, Ethan. Liz is racing to Ethan's house, but Barnes is already there. He drugs Ethan and begins to administer the cure as Liz bursts into the room. Barnes begs her to let him administrate the cure. She points out that it is experimental and could kill Ethan. Barnes won't listen and tries to inject Ethan anyway. Liz fires several shots and then Barnes dies. So, that was pretty big when we had that, but then we got to the real big scenes of the episode where we get to, the big cliffhanger scenes. I really wish they would have done more of this throughout the episode like they did last week. I really like the way they did that. I thought that was a really nice formula, and I would have wanted them to continue that this week, but they didn't do that. I would have wanted to see them do that this week, though, but they didn't. So somehow Red defies time and space by arriving at the crime scene as Liz is leaving. We saw him flying on a plane from Cuba, so how did he get there? I don't know. But he makes his crack about how he can sympathize with Barnes' willingness to burn the world down to protect someone he loves. And Liz is basically saying, Tom is innocent, everything's going to be okay, but he says you never know. And she thinks Red is talking about their relationship, but he says she is being presumptuous. She thinks he's talking about their relationship, but he's really talking about Tom and everything. We don't really know what he's talking about. But he says he's being presumptuous, and he tells Liz that he'll walk away anytime she asks him to. So basically, if she asks him to walk away, he will do that, and we really see he really does care for her. And again, another big scene of how Red really cares for Liz, and we saw that again. And Liz is silent, and Red says, see you tomorrow. And then Tom sets up this romantic night. I really like this scene. Tom has set up this romantic night for Liz, recreating the first night they spent in the house, and then they end up kissing. And I really like that scene. Then we get to the huge scene in the episode, the game-changing scene. Red pulls up to that house in Maryland that he says he was going to buy for a ridiculous amount, and he says, strange, I remember it being bigger. And his assistant asks why this place, and Red replies he raised his family in the house, and we start to see this board of markings where he tracked the growth of his daughter many years ago, and we start to see, memories of his daughter, and it's still a thing if Liz is his daughter. It's still something that could happen. And Red's henchmen say they've prepared the house and that it's time to go. And he says, I spent every time trying to figure out what happened in the house. Maybe this will help. He pulls away, and then a few seconds later the house just explodes. So now the house is gone. And, what? Why did you just blow up your house? I don't really understand why Red just blew up his house like that. I thought it was a very, very big scene. Great way to end the episode. So many questions now are going through my head again, especially the whole thing that now we finally have back that Liz could be Red's daughter. I could definitely see that happening. I didn't think that, but now I could definitely see that happening, especially after he said protecting someone you love. Why does he have to protect her? What does he have to protect her from? Who is he protecting here? Who is he talking about? And why did he blow up that house? What are the bad memories that he has? I really want to know. Let me know if you guys saw this episode. Also, is Tom innocent? I still don't know. That's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.